Don't want nobody touch my hair, cause a lot of sisters acting too crazy. And them not tough like this, rough like this, and them not nice like this. Some can't take it when you talk true sense. Rather hear the words I glorify nonsense. Yes, and I got my brain, and I'm pretty like my mama. I don't wanna pick your brains, I just want the microphone. Take the mask off your face and look at me face to face. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I wanna share my love, but it's gotta be with someone who's precious. You're never gonna get my love, accepting that you're real precious. You're never gonna cramp my style, baby, cause I get a lot of pleasure. And if you wanna test my style, a little crazy, intelligently, singing rock back, shake. No sticks, no stones, or any kind of weapon don't belong here. I don't wanna break no bones, I just want a microphone. Take the mask off your face and look at me face to face. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, 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 good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, viewers. It's 7 a.m. and this is the Tobago Updates morning show coming to you live. Well, Ria, it's a direct double connection this morning, coming to you live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. And for those of you joining us, we want to continue to give God thanks for life. Thank you for joining us here on the Tobago Updates morning show. I am Julian Skeet.
And I am Maria Richardson George, and this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Good morning to Tobago, good morning Trinidad, the Caribbean, and those of you viewing us on the live, good morning to Julian.
Ria, today is truly a day for us where we are connecting between Trinidad and Tobago.
That's right. So I am in Tobago, Julian is in Trinidad, but we are here because, you know, with the Tobago Updates morning show, you can never know what's going to happen. Always expect something new.
Always a little surprise in the mix for someone.
That's right.
So Ria, as we look on this morning, we just before we move on from the excitement of yesterday, we had a pop-up visitor at our breakfast, you know, with the presiding officer. I wonder if that photo is ready for us, Ria.
I wonder if that photo is ready.
Because I'm seeing a lot of
Julian,
places.
One of the things we're doing as well is running the risk of having other persons want to do this another time around.
Ria, I should probably clarify. The viewer was in the vicinity and communicated with us to verify that it was okay.
Definitely. So she popped in.
So viewers, you have it here on screen. We have the presiding officer, of course, your host Ria and Julian. And this is one of our loyal viewers that joined us yesterday. Dropped in just in time, Liesel James, for just a little bit of the taste there of breakfast with the team yesterday in terms of the Tobago Updates team. So we're very happy to have her. Morning, Liesel.
Good morning, Liesel. I feel as though she's going to become a part of the Tobago Updates family pretty soon.
I feel that way as well, Ria. I feel that way. Let me say morning to Travis Moses, Kuki Melville, Zandra Baines, Trisha Joseph, all joining us on the live this morning already, Ria. Ria, any birthday shout-outs this morning?
Well, I've got a belated birthday greeting this morning going out to Bishop Roel Reed, and who celebrated his birthday yesterday, and he is the bishop in charge of the Open Bible Standard Churches in Tobago. So Bishop Reed celebrated his birthday yesterday, also his anniversary. All right, so belated birthday and anniversary greetings going out to Bishop Reed and Sister Brenda Reed. So love going out to you from the entire Open Bible family. And he's often said that we are his children. We grew up under him in church. So certainly, you know, lots of love going out to him. It's a man that we love and respect dearly. So all the best.
Nice. I also want to send birthday shout outs this morning to Trisha Bukaj Sobers. So that's Trisha Sobers. Of course, we know her with that voice in the feel in terms of gospel music and so on. So this morning, we're saying a shout out to Trisha Bukaj Sobers. Happy birthday, and we trust that you have an enjoyable birthday coming from the Tobago Updates family. And I also want to send out birthday greetings. I missed it yesterday. To Marlene Murphy Crosby. Marlene up there in Glamorgan. My very good friend, I want to wish you a happy birthday. She said to me last night, Rhea, I'm heading out to dinner. So I know that she had a late night and she may probably have to look back at this show in order to receive these belated birthday greetings this morning. Rhea, I think we also had some promotions that took place in terms of what's happening in the Tobago space. Mr. David Joseph Thomas has been officially promoted to the position of Assistant Chief Fire Officer. And he's presently the head of the Tobago division. So we really want to send out our congratulations to him.
Definitely, and I think this has been a long time coming, and we're really proud of David Thomas. Congratulations going out to him. And I mean, even to the TT, Trinidad and Tobago Fire Services, yes. So congratulations going out to him and the entire team. Like I said, it's been a long time coming, and we're really proud.
Excellent, certainly. Rhea, anything else happening in the Tobago space this morning?
Julian, happening in the Tobago space, the THA to expedite the Little Tobago temporary jetty. Now, just a few days ago, in fact, the Chief Secretary, Fali Augustine, and a team journeyed over to Little Tobago to see, you know, what can happen, what the state of the island was at this point in time. And from pictures on social media, one could see that the jetty was in an extremely dilapidated condition. So the Chief Secretary is in a push on a move to ensure that there is some type of temporary jetty put in place for Easter 2022. Already we see a lot of persons coming to Tobago for vacation, choosing Tobago as their vacation destination, which is what we've wanted to see for a very long time. As well, stakeholders met on the reopening of schools for Standard 5s, Form 1, 2, and 3. Which is scheduled to happen just on the 7th of February. So we're looking at that. Of course, parents would have their concerns with regards children and vaccination and returning to school.
Yes, and I think interesting enough, on the first one that you mentioned, I think people are very happy to be able to see the efforts going in immediately into treating with areas like Little Tobago and so on. So it's really left to be seen how that works out for us. And collectively, I think it's February the 7th that they're looking at first to third formers returning, correct, as well as Standard 5 students. And like any parent, we are there and we are waiting with some level of uneasiness.
Yes.
But still watching to see how this transition and how it works out. And I want to assume that the statistics from the 4th to 6th formers that were out previously would help naturally to guide the ministry in this approach at the moment.
Okay. As well, we just want to remind our viewers of yesterday's sponsor, and that was Joy's Fashion, located ground floor Port Mall, which is located Lower Scarborough, Tobago. And in fact, Joy's Fashions brings out the classy woman in you. So she caters to all body types, and you can call them or visit 639-3809, 776-6760. And they are moving into online purchasing at this time, so you could feel free to, you know, give them a call and maybe you can have something delivered. You never know. So and certainly I was very thankful, very pleased. So again, good morning to Joy Andrews and Celise Edwards.
Rhea, I'm seeing on the live here as well, Joan Pierre. I want to shout out Joan Pierre. She says, I'm so excited because I'm coming home next week. Listening to you all, I feel like a child in a candy store. Joan Phillips Pierre, we look forward to welcoming you home when you get here next week. Rhea, in fact, I hope that she passes through the studio on some morning to see
Oh,
us,
that would be
Portmore
lovely.
top floor. So
Yeah, that
Joan
would be
Phillips
lovely.
Pierre, we look forward. We look forward to putting a face to this name in person. So feel free, this is your invitation to check us out at the studio next week when you're here in Tobago.
All right. But Julian, what's happening on the rundown this morning?
All right, so on our rundown this morning, let me head into the, right, good. On our rundown this morning, we actually begin the conversation with Miss Diane Joseph, and she's the Chief Operating Officer of the Cooperative Credit Union League of Trinidad and Tobago. She'll be speaking to the launch of the calendar, which took place last week, calendar of events for 2022, and giving us a sense of where things are heading with the Cooperative Credit Union movement in Trinidad and Tobago.
And then we switch gears a little bit when we go over to Candice, who is going to be chatting with Sheridan Cook, adventure seeker and owner of Camp Nation. And Sheridan is going to tell us a little bit more about Tobago's new experience.
All right, and in our final segment this morning, we'll be chatting with LaDonna Fields, owner of Deep Pleasure TT. And Rhea will have deep pleasure of chatting with LaDonna Fields this morning. Rhea, I think that's going to be a little exciting, Rhea.
I suspect it will be, but I'm going to ensure that my face does not show it.
You know that's difficult, Rhea. So viewers, we want to continue to thank all of you, those of you joining us in Tobago, Trinidad, those of you joining us throughout the region. We want to remind you, you can also connect with us online via tobagoupdates.com, as well as we encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tobago Updates. And those of you joining us via Gael TV and Emily TV, feel free to connect with us via WhatsApp at 284-6597. And for those of you on the live, thank you so much for the continued love and support. We want to remind you, what are we reminding them about, Rhea, this morning? To share the live.
Share the live.
Share the
Share the
live.
live.
Share the live.
Share the live.
Nicholson Richards to
Welcome to Tobago Update Sports. I'm your boy Marcus Daniel. Thank you.
Trinidad and looms
and remains when
the public is
nobody lives here. Oil and gas exploration continues to affect the livelihood.
Spearsides Marine
in Tobago fishermen.
When will the Roxborough Hospital be fully functional?
Of the 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. window
at the islands,
treasures
like the Golden
continue
Waterfall,
to rise in Tobago.
Good morning. Put a smile on your...
You can now get whatever...
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, viewers. It's 7:13 a.m. Welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show. And this morning, in this segment, we are chatting with Miss Diane Joseph. and she's the Chief Operating Officer of the Cooperative Credit Union League of Trinidad and Tobago. So this morning on Tobago Updates, we're talking credit union in Tobago and credit union in Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning and welcome, Ms. Joseph.
I think, Miss Diane, we need you to turn on your audio, please.
Yes, just double check your audio first.
Do you have it? I think she's
I'm
checking
seeing like it
on
was
it.
still
She's
mute
checking
there.
on it even
Yes,
as
it
we
should be right
speak.
at the bottom of the screen there.
Okay, she's working on it. She's working on it, Julian.
Yes.
So
while they get the opportunity to just work it out there with her,
And while we're waiting, I just want to send a very special good morning going out to Karen Wilson of Argyle, Tobago, who watches our show every morning. Even though she is sometimes online, she's watching from her television. So good morning and welcome to the program this morning, Karen Wilson. Do
well,
we
Ria, I'm
have
seeing one.
Diane on the
I'm,
line at this time?
is she
Not
back as yet?
yet. Not
All
yet.
right. I'm
So
seeing one of my
Julian,
very good friends, Ria, joined in on the live. Andra Joe Field. Yes, I'm calling you out this morning. Morning to Andra Joe Field. So good to see you on the live with us this morning. Gail Lashley, Teresa, Jeffrey, Russell, all on the live with us this morning, connecting with us. Go ahead, Ria.
we got Mauricia Douglas and our good friend from Speyside, Carol Fraser Davidson, always supporting. Good morning to Carol. Paula James Roberts. Paula, good morning. It's always good to have you connecting with us wherever you are. It's beautiful to have you connecting with us.
Yes, excellent this morning. All right, so do we have her on the line as yet?
No, not just yet. But here's what. We are going to share the live, share the live, share the live.
I'm Patricia Nicholson Richards to our
Welcome to
top
Tobago
story.
Update Sports. I'm your boy Marcus Daniel. Thank you.
Trinidad and looms as
Remains when
the public is making.
nobody lives here. Oil and gas exploration continues to affect the livelihood
Speyside Marine
in Tobago
Industry.
fishermen,
When will the
Sion
Roxborough
Francis,
Hospital be fully functional?
of the 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. window
still
at the
find
islands
treasures like the golden
continue to
waterfall.
rise in Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning.
Morning. Good morning. Viewers, welcome back this morning to the Tobago Updates morning show. I do believe that we have our guest on the line at this time. So chatting with us this morning is Miss Diane Joseph, Chief Operating Officer, Cooperative Credit Union League of Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning, Miss Diane.
Hi, good morning.
Excellent.
Hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we're hearing you loud and clear.
Nice, thank you very much.
All
Over
right.
to you, Julian.
So as we welcome you to this segment here this morning on the Tobago Updates morning show, we want to ask you to start by giving us a sense of putting into perspective for those viewers tuned in from Tobago, Trinidad, throughout the Caribbean region that are viewing us this morning, as well as those abroad. Tell us about the Cooperative Credit Union League. Just put it into perspective for us. What's the Cooperative Credit Union League?
The Cooperative Credit Union League of Trinidad and Tobago is the national umbrella body for credit unions. We represent 130 credit unions in Trinidad and Tobago. We manage assets of TT dollars, $17 billion. And our core functions are advocacy, lobbying, training, and development for and on behalf of credit unions here in Trinidad and Tobago.
How long, Ms. Diane, how long has this organization been in existence?
The Cooperative Credit Union League is actually in existence this year for 75 years, so long before all of us on this call. And we have been working with credit unions monitoring their performance, guiding, coaching, and developing the leaders so that they can perform their leadership roles better. And we credit the continuous growth of the credit union movement to that work that we continue to do so that the leadership will be strong, the members' business will be well executed and handled, and the institutional strengthening capacity will continue so that what we call the small man will have a place to do their business.
How long
Tell
has
us a little bit.
Tobago,
Go ahead, Ria.
Sorry, how long has Tobago credit unions been involved in the league? I mean, did you start as Trinidad and Tobago, or was it Trinidad and then Tobago?
It has always been Trinidad and Tobago. It is the Cooperative Credit Union League of Trinidad and Tobago, and outside of credit unions to support the non-cooperative, the non-financial cooperatives in Trinidad and Tobago as well. So credit unions in Tobago have, from the time they would have been registered, a member covered by the umbrella of the Cooperative Credit Union League.
All right. So give us a little insight into last week you would have launched your calendar of events for 2022. Tell us a little bit about that in terms of the significance to the cooperative credit union movement.
Yes, it is always my pleasure to share this information. Last Wednesday, we hosted the official launch ceremony of our 2022 calendar of events. This was the first time virtually, given all that is happening now with the pandemic. And the significance of this to us is that it comprised every bit of detail in terms of our training, intervention, our local and regional and international costs. It outlines the date, the time, the venue, the format, whether it's virtual or in person. And it gives our credit union leaders details so that they can plan early to participate, to have the credit union, the members, the committees, and the leadership train on a continuous basis in a wide and range of educational interventions. And if you allow me, I can highlight, let's say for the first quarter coming up, we are talking about the nominations committee. It is a time now where credit unions are in high AGM mode, and we are actually offering a course on the nominations process to strengthen the credit union selection process so that we always get the best fit candidates to serve on our boards and committees in our credit unions. We also have corporate governance because we believe that on an ongoing basis and keep in line with international best practices. And of course, we are also hosting in the first quarter the youth segment where we are working with our credit unions and advising every credit union to develop a youth arm and a youth board so that we prepare our young persons to take over the legacy of those who would have started this wonderful credit union movement 75 years ago.
Okay, we understand that there is a conference coming up in October. Can you tell us a little bit more about the conference?
Yes, we have in October our month celebrations actually. The October is designated internationally as Credit Youth. And there we will be celebrating with the world and hosting various events and activities. It is not a conference per se, but it is where we host our national awards ceremony in Trinidad and Tobago to rec credit unions for excellence in performance in the area of financial, in the area of human resources, and in the area of youth development. We also offer a youth award for the best or the most outstanding in our credit unions in Trinidad and Tobago.
Tell us a little bit specifically in October. I know that the Tobago Regional Chapter comes into focus with the closing for the Credit Union Month celebrations.
Yes, and the Tobago regional chapter, we have 6 regional chapters, 5 in Trinidad and 1 in Tobago. The Tobago regional chapter has become very popular and well known for hosting one of the best closing ceremonies. And because of that, while we rotate the opening ceremony, all the chapters in Trinidad, we would have decided to leave the closing ceremony with Tobago only because of the excellent job that our Tobago credit unions continue to do. So they would host an award ceremony as well for the credit unions in Tobago, recognizing the pioneers who contributed to the credit union movement in Tobago. They also host days of workshops for the credit unions in Tobago during the closing ceremony. And of course, an award ceremony where they recognize some of the credit union leaders for what they would have done in the current environment outside of the pioneers that you have in. So Tobago has been leading the way for several years now, and we bring a large contingent from Trinidad to participate until what?
Okay,
right, so
Ms. Diane Joseph, what is it about credit unions that you think a lot of people have misconceptions about? Can you share one of those misconceptions that persons may have about credit unions?
Well, the only misconception that we know that they have is that the banks are better than the credit unions. And we relate that to a lack of education and of what we do. Because credit unions are people's organizations. We offer the best products and services at the most rates. We have the lowest interest rates. Around the world, it is well known that credit unions is interest rate on loans, and we offer the best returns on your shares in the credit union, because credit unions, even Tobago, are paying sometimes 4-5% dividends along with an interest rebate, and you sometimes total as much as 7% on your return on your shares, whereas you cannot go to another institution, a financial institution, and get that kind of return. In fact, you will get 0.25 or 0.5% on over $500,000.
Okay, well, thank you
all
so
right,
much.
so in the Tobago space, Miss Diane Joseph, it's probably a good time to ask you to highlight some of those Tobago credit unions that will be represented. I know there's a special meeting taking place today. You want to give us a little insight into that and some of the Tobago credit unions that will be represented today?
Of course, we have being represented today a special general meeting, which is called to approve the league's operational budget for 2022, taking place in just about an hour and a half's time here at the Radisson Hotel in Trinidad. We have our Bethel Credit Union represented, and they have started to come in since as early as last spring. We have Mount Pleasant Credit Union, and I'm proud to say that's Julian's Credit Union, and Julian is a member of the board of the league. And also we have our People's Credit Union, Tor Credit Union, and Lambo Credit Union. They are all being represented here this morning in Trinidad, and we look at that as a commitment of the credit unions in Tobago to the work of what we do for credit unions.
All right.
Great, excellent. Ria, so I put on my other board hat when I'm finished with Tobago updates for this morning to represent Tobago here in Trinidad.
That's right. That's right. As we wrap up here with Ms. Joseph this morning, Ms. Joseph, any quick comments before we go?
Yes, I to all our members and the listening and viewing audience that they should continue to keep safe, follow all the COVID-19 protocol at the league. We are pro-vaccine, but we respect the views and opinions of those who hold another view. And we are asking that subscribe to all the protocols, stay safe, stay positive, and look towards a very successful 2022 as we are doing at the Cooperative Credit Union League.
Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Miss
so
Diane.
much, Miss Diane Joseph.
Yeah. Just before we shift gears, we want to send out a very special birthday greeting this morning to Alice Moy Mackenzie, celebrating her birthday today. As well, the Masters Calypso tent is inviting persons to log on Saturday, the 29th, January 2022, for their Singing Classics, Vintage and New Songs, their Calypso Coliseum that's coming up this weekend. And now, viewers, it is over to our good stuff. And in our good stuff this morning, we are happy, proud, and pleased to mention Mr. David Joseph Thomas, who has been officially promoted to the position of Assistant Chief Fire Officer here in Tobago. He is presently the head of the Tobago Division. And like I said earlier this morning, this has been a long time coming. And we stand proud with you this morning, Mr. David Joseph Thomas. So that's about it. So viewers, coming up, we've got Candace heading over. We're heading over to Candace this morning in just a little while. So we encourage you this morning to share the live, share the live, share the live.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
It's a different type of thing down there. Man, we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
I'm Patricia Nicholson Richards. To our
Come to
top
Tobago
story.
Update Sports. I'm your boy Marcus Daniel. Thank you.
Trinidad and looms as
remains. When
the public is
nobody lives here. Oil and gas exploration continues to affect the livelihood.
Spearsides, marine
in Tobago fishermen.
When will the
Sion
Roxborough
Francis
Hospital be fully functional?
Of the 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. window at the island
treasures like the golden
continue
waterfall
to rise in Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place.
Good morning, Tobago from Goldsboro Beach. I am Candace Jackson for Tobago Updates. And yes, you did just see me emerge from a tent. And why am I emerging from a tent? I'm about to tell you. So I am here with Mr. Sheridan Cook. Good morning, Mr. Cook.
Good morning.
And we'll just give you here mic here, that's fine. And Mr. Cook is part of a wonderful organization called Camp Nation.
Camp Nation it is.
Right, so tell us a little bit about Camp Nation. And of course, we see one of your amazing tent setup.
Right.
But tell me a little bit about what is Camp Nation?
Well, Camp Nation is a outdoor adventure type company. What we primarily do is create outdoor experiences for mostly visitors. Yes, our locals could come and experience it also, but we create outdoor activities that would really and truly inspire people to get outdoors a little bit more, and that includes camping, hiking, and any outdoor activity possible outdoor. Camp Nation is willing to work with our clients to make sure that we bring those dreams to reality.
Right, and of course we have a nice setup here, and I'm thinking we're going to have a seat, and you're going to tell us a little bit about how it's not just about the camping experience, but it's about camping experience in style.
Well, correct, and this is called glamping. At Camp Nation, yes, we do have a lot of hardcore camping, and when we say hardcore camping, if you look right in front of me here,
you're
going to see a loo. You
Yes.
know, this would be considered part of our hardcore camping experience, where you don't necessarily have the amenities such as the bathroom, the facilities, and so forth. But what we would have recognized also, because the culture is not quite open to this kind of rough camping, we would have decided to try something very much different, which is glamping, and that is basically taking your whole living room, taking your bedroom, all the conveniences of indoors, and bringing it outdoors so that you yourself could get outdoor and enjoy outdoors a little bit more.
Right, and of course, as I mentioned earlier, we are here in Goldsboro Beach.
Correct.
Most people don't think about the beach here in Goldsboro, or that there is a beach here in Goldsboro. But with Camp Nation, we could come to locations such as this and make it happen.
Yes, correct. You see, Camp Nation, we are mobile. We could pop up anywhere, literally anywhere. It just comes down to how much work our clients are willing to put in to popping up somewhere. Because we could go into somewhere like as dense as the rainforest and camp and things like this without anybody knowing, you know. And find some great hiking trails and just camp on the trails overnight and things like that. So it just really and truly comes down to the imagination of our clients and things like that.
Great. And tell me a little bit about some of the amenities and so on that you provide. Like, how glamorous is this camping experience that you're able to provide?
Well, we could think wild. We are still in the developmental aspect of the company, but so far we have been doing a full-blown bedroom with sitting area and so forth. In this tent in the backyard,
it is quite big.
It is huge. You know, you literally try to touch the top and can't touch the top, because a lot of people may feel as though camping is cramping. You know, at Camp Nation, it's not that. We also do outdoor dining, which is one of our biggest sellers, which is the date night experience, where we do a full decor and you have fine style service catered to you. You have your own chef, you have a 3-course meal, you have all those glamorous things.
So we can have a really nice Valentine's Day experience.
Oh, Valentine's are all booked out. Yes, so we would have recognized that a lot of couples and so forth are really looking into it. We also have a package called a Campers Camp, and that's where the friends, this is based on groups of 4 or more. So we have this camp where friends just come together. You have finger foods, you have movies going, you have the games going, you have music. So it's a whole big party. So if you want to host a carnival event, host it by force.
Camp Nation. Ricky, and we know over the past 2 years, persons have been locked down with the COVID-19 pandemic. You've been forced to stay at home, forced to stay away from each other and so on. But how important it is now to be able to get out there and be in nature, just be in the forest or on the beach. Tell me about that.
Well, during the earlier stages of the pandemic, what Camp Nation would have experienced was a total lockdown. We were unable to go outside, we were unable to hike, camp and things like that. And then it forced Camp Nation to become a little bit more creative, and that birthed the Camp Nation backyard experience. So instead of us taking you all over this beautiful island of Tobago to camp, we are bringing camping to your backyard to influence spending time with your family, giving your children the outdoor experience, still camping under the stars and things like that. So it is it was a very unique experience for us, and it just pushed the way that we think during this whole process. But the pandemic has been very, very hard for us. We are still limited in terms of the things that we are able to do.
Of course.
And we are just really looking forward for the future in terms of opening up and giving people the leverage where they can really expand.
And tell me about the benefits to your mental health that camping has for a person.
Well, I'm the coolest dude you could find because I have no worries. Trust me. And if it is that something is on my mind, I go hiking, I go camping. It's therapy. Camping, hiking, doing outdoor activities, just unplugging is therapy, because sometimes we are influenced by just the simple things you see flash across a screen. It is better for me to hear the waves crashing. I could stay here and chat to you all day and just look at the waves crashing and things like that. It's therapeutic, you know. So we would always advise people to, at some point in your life, to give yourself this experience, to give your family, your children this experience, because it really and truly gives you an opportunity to look at the world and look at your life in a different kind of way. Because the simple thing as littering and so forth, the more appreciation you have for the outdoors, the more appreciation you would have for the way you carry about yourself on a daily basis.
Right. And well, I mean, of course, you have this loo here. You highlighted it, right?
Yes.
So now one of the highlights about going with Camp Nation is that you don't just have to go in the bush. You get to go in the bush in style.
Yes, you could go in the bush in style, and you know,
right?
this is
and
one
how
of
does this work?
Excuse me?
How does it work?
Well, what happens is that you go in this. You just go. Anyhow, but this is just to cover. You could get rid of that. A bag goes down in here. It just sounds bad. You know, it's gonna be like the coolest experience ever, because if it is that you have to have the experience of digging a hole and doing the do,
that's
you know, you will literally want to go on the loo. You know, so so this is just basically a bucket that you dispose of after, or you clean or whatever, but you put like your bag and so forth, you cover it down. You want to try it, you cover it, and no, it is quite comfortable. I swear you're gonna enjoy.
This is
isn't it comfortable?
This is
like you could just pull out your phone and start texting.
Right. Yep.
Because you know we spend a lot of time texting. You can
still bring your book, you can have, and then you have the waves right there, you have the sun.
I'm pretty sure you don't even want to go back on that chair, right? Yes, so this is just basically how this works. So we would take this in situations like in the Richmond area where there's no bathroom facility and people want this experience, because we are going to say, listen, you could have this experience. If you don't want this experience, we're going to bring in porta potties and all the pretty stuff so that you could have that. But if you want the hardcore, raw, kind of like camping experience, we can also provide that for you.
Okay. And what has been people's reactions when they've been able to experience this Camp Nation in style kind of a
thing? They just booked their other date. You know, so the feedback has been very, very good. As a matter of fact, a lot of our clients end up tipping us because the experience is just beyond. I always go on social media and say Camp Nation is the beyond Tobago has been talking about, and we try our very best to give quality service. We also link up with a lot of the service providers on the island, and big up to all of them, because without them there's no Camp Nation. And I always believe that there should be some level of collaboration between all the stakeholders of tourism on the island. I also want to share this, that a lot of times we think that tourism is this one company or perhaps the government, and so tourism starts with us as the people. So when my most 95% of my clients comes from Trinidad, and when they get here, what I tend to ask is, how was the experience getting here? Because the Camp Nation experience starts when you get on the airport in Trinidad and check in to come to Tobago, and it makes me kind of nervous because I have no control over all of those things, and I'm hoping that sometime in the future they could just say they're going to a Camp Nation experience and people just behave totally different, you know. But I just want to tell the rest of Tobago that the experience starts with us. So we would be the first line of selling the experience in Tobago, and we just have to carry about ourselves understanding that.
And finally, what inspired you to launch Camp Nation?
Well, I was real bored, you know, and my friends and I wanted to have some type of experience doing something different. So we packed up my vehicle and we went in a place that we should not have gone and go camping, but it was primarily just to find something different. I have always been a person that would have been interested in the outdoor experience and so forth. Traveling around the world and just seeing the mountain range and thing excites me. And I believe that if it excites me this much, I'm a true believer in selling Tobago, which is a treasure, as that experience also. So those things are a combination that gave me the inspiration to start Camp Nation.
All right, so we're going to just take a quick look just before we wrap up
Right.
this interview. Let's take a quick look inside the tent. So folks, you can see how roomy, and of course, you have several tents, several different styles.
Correct.
And so on. Okay, tell me a little bit about those.
Yes, so this tent is one of the tents that one of the bigger tents that I'll use for like the date nights, because this tent can hold your whole family and your grandparents and your friends and everybody. I also have a bubble tent. This is a transparent tent that you can see all the way through.
Wow.
And if you realize, I can't even touch the top,
And then you have places
yes, there
to
are
view
vents.
the
Yes, you
stars
could,
and so
you
on.
could watch or stargaze inside here, and so we have a bubble tent that gives you the opportunity to sleep in the outdoor without feeling as though you're in anything. So you literally would be seen by any creature passing on the outdoor, We have smaller tents that we use for backpacking and so forth, so that we can carry it easily to different locations and through different terrain and so forth, so that there's no stress of carrying something this big and heavy.
Okay.
So we so far we have it covered. We are currently working on our campsite, Tobago's very first campsite that would encompass A-frames, dome tents, and really nice living accommodation. You could literally just come there and live. So
good.
we are currently working on that, and we look forward to pushing the brand Tobago and the brand Camp Nation together, because without Tobago there's no Camp Nation. And if Tobago is offering Camp Nation this opportunity, it is just my duty to give back to Tobago in terms of marketing.
All right, so for those viewers now that have been looking out and looking and viewing this interview and feeling inspired to go camping and camping in style, how can they get in contact with you?
Well, they can always check us out on Facebook and on Instagram. It's Tobago. Camp Nation Tobago, like I don't even know my own thing. It is Camp Nation Tobago on Instagram, Camp Nation Tobago on Facebook. You could contact me at 483-7456. You could WhatsApp me, call me. People literally chat to me 12 o'clock in the night. And I will literally respond.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Sheridan Kirk, for being able to show us a little bit about what Camp Nation is and what you do, and best of luck. Now, folks, I am going to just enjoy this little setting here for a little while, and I'm going to head it over now to Devon Adana for this day in history.
This day in Tobago history. Did you know that on January 26, 2017, the 10th inauguration ceremony of the Tobago House of Assembly was open to the public? According to tha.gov.tt, 5 years ago today, Kelvin V. Charles and his administration were inaugurated into the Tobago House of Assembly, which members of the public were invited to view from James Park in Scarborough. Limited invite-only seating was made available in the Assembly Legislature for the event, which began at 10 a.m. The inauguration ceremony saw the new Assembly installed following the January 23, 2017 THA election, where Mr. Charles led the Tobago Council of the PNM to a 10-2 victory over the People's Democratic Patriots. Then President Anthony Carmona and Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley attended the inauguration ceremony. In an article by Rosemary Sant for the TNT Guardian, Charles is quoted, "I am going to give it my best shot and get it going as best as I can with the resources I have." Charles's administration was a mix of old and new, as he himself as presiding officer in the Assembly Legislature up until 2016. Inaugurated Mr. Charles on this day was former Deputy Presiding Officer Mr. Anders, former Finance Secretary Mr. Joel Jack, and former Assistant Secretaries in Education and Health Mr. Hayden Spencer, Jomo Pitt, and Mr. Sheldon Cunningham. Mr. Charles' term as Chief Secretary was the shortest 3 years and 95 days. However, it was 80 days more than Jefferson Guy, who was the second chairman of the Tobago House of Assembly, as the Chief Secretary position was then called. You've been watching This Day in Tobago History. My name is Devon Adana. So much more after the break. Be sure to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Patricia Nicholson Richards to
Welcome
a
to
top
Tobago
story.
Update Sports. I'm your boy Marcus Daniel. Thank you.
Trinidad and looms as
remains when
the public is
nobody lives here.
Oil and gas exploration continues to affect the livelihood.
Spearsides, marine
in Tobago fishermen.
When will the
Sion
Roxborough
Francis
Hospital be fully functional?
of the 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. window
Still find
at the islands
treasures like the golden
continue to
waterfall
rise in Tobago.
Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, morning. Good morning again, viewers, and welcome back this morning to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. We are chatting this morning with LaDonna Fields, and LaDonna is the owner of D Pleasure TT. So she's going to tell us all about it, D Pleasure TT, because you deserve it. Good morning and welcome to you, LaDonna.
Good morning. Hi.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so very much.
All right, so you are the owner of D Pleasure TT. LaDonna, tell us, before we show our viewers what we've got on the table, tell us a little bit about D Pleasure TT, and what got you started in this.
Okay, so I started this business during the pandemic. I'm someone that shares a lot of memes, and I remember seeing a meme where a person spoke about having to go, they're no longer able to, go to the side, because they're locked down.
Go to the side?
Go on the side.
I'm not sure. Tell us what you mean by go on the side.
Also, I can speak freely.
Yes, and let me just say here before we get into things, viewer discretion is advised at this point. Viewer discretion is advised. One more time, viewer discretion is advised for this interview. Go ahead. They're not able to go to decide, which means?
Okay, so what that basically means, I saw a meme where a person said that, because of the lockdown and the pandemic, they were not able to, go to, external relationships.
Or
basically.
have a side chick or a side guy.
Because there's a lockdown.
Okay.
Yeah. So I laughed about it and I said this would be a good business to go into because people are on lockdown. In addition,
Before you go on there, what is the nature of the business? Let's tell our viewers.
Oh, okay.
What is the nature
so
of the
D Pleasure TT is we do like adult toys and laundry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the nature of the business. So persons who were on lockdown were saying that they're not able to carry on their external relationships. You can't have a side chick because you've got to be at home, and you can't have your side guy because you've got to be. This is so interesting because this is the world that we live in. Fortunately or unfortunately, this is the world we live in. So you decided to get into the business of pleasure.
Yes. But when I thought about it more, because of my first business, which is I'm a photographer, doing wedding photography, and I have very close relationships with my clients, a lot of them would have had concerns or problems where their relation or their bed affairs would have took place. And I'm very open, so people come to me and they tell me the world of things. So I said, you know what, this would be a good thing to improve the connection with persons and to, have an open mentality, open sexuality and that type of things.
So persons who are having intimate issues would come to you and say, look, this is XYZ is happening. And do you cater only to women or do you cater to men as well?
I cater to everyone.
Okay.
Yes, so both men and women.
All right, now, LaDonna, and I've got to ask you this question here. You come from a Christian background.
I do.
What would you say the Christian community would say about this? And before you answer that question, this that we're talking about these items. We're talking about, and I'm holding this one. This seems to be the largest of the set. But this is just one. But tell us about these, and we come back to that question. So maybe you can raise some of them. No pun intended. You can hold some of them in your hand. All right, and you can just show them.
Sure, no problem. So it all depends. A lot of persons, they don't understand their bodies, and it helps you to understand who you are as a person. So there's different things or different items to suit different needs. Okay. So for example, if you are internally stimulated, you will have things like these or the one that you're holding in your hand. If you are externally stimulated or clitorally stimulated, you would have something like this, right? Let me see if I can get it. Or you'll have something like this, which has the option to, which is like a rabbit, and you get to, it vibrates here. So it stimulates you internally as well as externally.
And externally.
Yeah.
All right. You mentioned earlier, and we're coming back to that question that I asked a little while ago. You mentioned earlier for people to know their bodies. Is this one of the ways that women can know their bodies?
Yes, it is. Of course it is. It's like a taboo. Sex is a taboo. People don't talk about it. They whisper about it, but they don't openly speak about it unless it's like, yeah, I get you last night. That kind of attitude. But it's something serious because you have to know you in order to be able to be pleased for someone else to please you.
All right. My question now, I'm coming back to my question. You grew up as a Christian. You're a Christian. What would you say, how does this relate to the Christian community? The Christian community believes that you wait until marriage to even enter into any type of sexual experiences or even knowing or understanding your body. How do these gadgets, these items relate to the Christian community?
Well, as I mentioned before, it's like a taboo. So persons will tend to tell you, you have to wait, and I understand that you have to wait, but the reality is
not many just persons. People. Let me be just a little bit clearer here. Not persons, but Christians believe the Word of God. We believe the Word of God and what the Word of God says about having your own husband, having your own wife. Therefore, let a man leave and cleave. Having your own husband and your own wife before you engage in sexual activity. So on that basis and that premise, how do these items, how do these items relate, whether you are a single Christian or married Christian individual? How do these come into play?
Well, firstly, if you're single, I would not tell you to take the thing that you have in your hand there.
This one.
But I will tell you, you could probably start with something like this, which is very small, so that you wouldn't yield into temptation, per se.
I don't know, wouldn't it, some would say it's the same thing, but that's not what we're here to talk about. I know that's not what we're here to talk about, but some would say that it's the same thing, but go ahead.
Yeah, and then a lot of the clients that I have, of course, they come from different ranges of Christianity, and they are the ones that have problems, and they are the ones that you hear things about a lot. And, divorce rates are very high, and when you find out why they divorced, the reasons are always, most times, extramarital affairs.
And related to sex. In that, what would you say are some of them?
I tend to tell persons that they need to be a little bit more open-minded and know themselves, know their bodies. A lot of times there's a breakdown of communication with persons.
But what is pleasurable, what is not?
Yes, because a lot of times, okay, so for example, there are some places or some religions that would consider, missionary, you must only do missionary, or you must only do a certain position. Things like oral sex is taboo. You shouldn't do that. If you tell somebody, go through the back door, they will say, me? So it all depends on the relationship. There's about a communication that needs to you need to have that type of open communication. And a lot of times, as I said, the extramarital affair is just because one person doesn't want to do or give in. I'm not saying you have to give in to everything, but you must have that open communication where you are able to say, okay, I'm comfortable with this, or I'm not too comfortable, I'm willing to try. My attitude is I will try anything twice, and when I try it twice, I know that I don't like it. The first time I may not. The first time I would say, I probably did it wrong. The second time, okay, I really didn't like it.
Okay. I hear you this morning, LaDonna. So LaDonna, tell us about some of the gadgets that you've got on the table this morning.
Okay, so the one that you have there, it is a suction dildo. You can put things on your tiles or your wall, and you do the do. This one that you have here, it is a plunging butt plug. So when I put this on,
and
it
that
goes like
is
this.
For those who tend to engage in
that type of,
again, viewer discretion is advised. Anal sex.
Yes, and it's actually remote control.
Okay.
Yeah. So you asked me if it's for men, if it's for women. There are men that have that type of, they're into those kind of things.
And there are women who are into that type of thing.
For this is one like this. So it's not all of the toys that I brought, but something like this. This is for those persons who are clitorally stimulated. This is my favorite toy. Sorry. So what it does is when you put it on, and I don't know if they could zoom in to see what it is or what it's doing.
This way? Yeah, this way.
Okay.
Over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you zoom in, you would realize that the tongue moves up and down. So I can take it off so that you can see.
Okay.
Yeah? So this is for those persons that are clitorially stimulated, those persons that are heavily into things like oral sex and that kind of things. Right? This one is very different. You can also put this one on the wall, right? So that this part here, you can actually, it has a suction, so you put it on the wall and you connect it to the bottom piece. You can change the direction of what you want to do. And this one also has a sense of a plunging effect, right? So there's a whole host of toys that are out there for both men and female. I'm so sorry that I don't have any in stock for men for you to see, besides, well, the butt plug. So there are things
as though the guys in studio are getting really excited somehow. I'm not sure what's going on.
So,
or is it the girls? I'm not sure.
So there are things, so this is how this one works.
Right.
Yeah.
So yes, we're getting that.
Yeah. So, and everything has different speeds to suit what it is that you are into. So there are also things like butt plugs. I didn't take out the regular butt plugs.
And tell us about the butt plug, because...
Okay.
And why is it attached to a tail?
So this one is really cool, and it's basically it's just like a fetish. I could say, if I could say that. Yeah. So the butt plug, there's the one with a tail, so you put it in, and this stays out, of course. So I don't know if you ever saw any pictures or any videos of that type.
I can safely tell you no. However, one of our viewers wants to know about the rose.
So the rose, I do have it. It is somewhere in my bag.
Can we help her very quickly? Can we have some assistance here? Because... Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. We're going to have... one of our viewers wants to know about the rose, whatever the rose is. But she's going to tell us about the rose. And this is for those persons out there. Now, this is the world we live in, viewers, okay? So, for those persons who are into this sort of thing, this one is very lifelike. Just that it's not warm. It's not warm to the touch.
Sorry?
If this is what you're into. Okay. So, LaDonna is still here with us. And again, viewers, it is D Pleasure TT. We're going to get some more information from her before she leaves today. So tell us about the rose. And she's got the rose.
Okay, so the only rose that I have right now is this one.
What is significant about the rose?
The rose is a suction toy. This one is a suction here, right? And then there's a tongue at the end of it.
Right.
So, just the same way how this one works.
For clitoral stimulation.
Which is clitoral stimulation. This is what the rose is about.
And the suction part is also for the clitoris?
Yes, it does.
So it's to depict the sucking motion.
There are some. So if you think there, the tongue vibrates. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So it's also for clitoral stimulation as well. And the suction as well, it affects you clitorally as well. So you just put it on the tip, and that's how it works. The nice part about the rose is that even if you're in a relationship, you can include it into your you can include it into in your session.
Okay.
So and it doesn't hamper anything.
Okay, you took something else out. Took out something else. And these terms took something else out of your bag. Tell us what it is.
The other thing, so there's a lot of aspects to sex, and persons think that, okay, not just positions, but if they tell you about toys or they tell you things like what I'm telling you about, they will just see these things. But there are a lot of things that you can do for those persons who are not really open. I would tend to tell persons, no, when persons come to me, I tend to ask them questions rather than just say, okay, well, yes, the rose, or just give them what they want. And that's because a lot of persons don't really understand their bodies. So the first thing I ask them, okay, so are you clitorally stimulated? Are you internally stimulated? And then we go from there. Are you in a relationship? What are you looking for?
But
so,
do a lot of women, when women talk with you, do they know how their bodies work? Do they know whether they're vaginally stimulated or clitorally stimulated?
Most women, they do.
And some of them, I'm sure, are not even aware that they are maybe one or the other or both.
That is true. So that's why you have a discussion. So I tend to do my business a little bit different by having discussions with persons. So yes, you may call me and say, you have the rose, and I might say, no, I don't have any more in stock. And listen, this is Tobago, and I am a supporter of businesses. So I would say, you could call this one or you could call that one, and I will sell what they have. And you have to encourage other persons, because there are other persons besides me, that does these things. But what I took out was these things like support rings, right? So there are persons that may not be into this whole range of toys or these kind of things. They would say, I don't want anything that looks like a dildo. I don't want anything that, that licks and sucks and that kind of stuff. But you may say that, you have any rings to help. And it's things that you could enhance. So when I take rings, I don't normally bring in things like the normal rings, and I don't know if you know what I mean by rings.
You tell us.
But basically, the rings are things that you put onto the penis to assist with pre-ejaculation and staying firm and that type of things. So when I bring in rings, I tend to bring in the ones that are ribbed because I am into women pleasure. I am a bit biased, and I'm not ashamed to tell you that, because at the end of the day, it's about both parties. It's not just one.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let me just share very quickly as you're showing us the rings. Some of our viewers are saying facts. A lot of people do not understand their bodies. That is why this type of information is needed. One other person, Cynthia, says you have to take care of your toy just as you take care of yourself.
Yes, that
Wash
is so
them.
true. And that is one of the things that we as persons who do toys tend to not tell persons about. You know, you must have like a cleaner, things like cleaners and lubricants and stuff like that. That is very important, because at the end of the day, it's about your care, your health. So this here is your health, but you also have to take care of your health so that you yourself will be healthy.
All right, someone also said to me, Ria, you can't learn everything right now. Leave some things in the bag. Oh, call a viewer, you might be surprised. I might be able to teach you. All right, I'm going to leave it there. But LaDonna, thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you on the program. But very quickly here, how can persons contact you?
Well, my number is all over Facebook because I do a number of things. And you can also cut D Pleasure TT on Instagram. I'm also on TikTok. When I do TikTok videos, I tend to talk about sexuality and your body and that type of thing. So I'll do little clippings so that you could understand, because a lot of people think that, you know, orgasms are only clitorially or internally, and there are
men.
so many.
And for men.
Yes.
Okay? A lot of persons believe that orgasms are only for men. So, and a lot of men believe it's only for them. So, you know, you just jump on. No. And this is a whole different session. But I was joking a while ago, Julian. I was joking a while ago when I said that I could teach. There's always an opportunity to learn.
Yes.
Ria, firm grip on this interview.
I like your choice of words. Anything that you'd like to ask?
LaDonna has been very explanatory, and I think what's important is that we can transcend beyond the traditions of not speaking about sex and not speaking about what's important to each other within a relationship. So I'm very, very happy about the content in terms of the information being shared with this morning's interview. But Ria, I do take note of the fact that you may not be able to learn everything in this segment, as the viewer said.
There's some things I have to go through the bag after the interview.
LaDonna, I have one question for you though. How do you help particular couples or people in the Tobago space that might see this as taboo? So they really want to connect with you, but they're feeling odd about it. How do you help persons to get around that zone?
Well, for those persons, there are a lot of persons who don't know me, and those persons who knows me, I do not judge. I do not judge ever. Even if you're into something that I'm not into, I would say that's no problem, and I can learn from you by you asking me questions as well. Sorry that I keep looking over there. You know, so if you approach me or you ask me a question, I have no problem to help. If I don't know, nothing is wrong with saying, I'm not sure, I don't know. I'm going to get the information for you.
Very quickly here. Seniors. Are seniors interested in these products, these gadgets?
Yes, they are.
That was my next, yes.
Yes. Yes, there are seniors that are interested, and I actually tell seniors, stay active. Even if you're 50, 60, you have to stay active, because there are certain tissues that, remember, your bodies are made up of muscles, and there are certain tissues that needs to be stimulated, or you will just sag.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
LaDonna,
I'm sorry, but
one of our viewers asked the question in relation to the possibility of infections from using these toys.
Well, that is why the use of the cleaners are very important. You must wash after use.
Okay. All right. I'm
all right,
shocked.
excellent.
But we've got to leave it there. Nobody's ever been shocked by these, right? Okay. We're going to leave it there. We're going to leave it there. But we want to thank you, LaDonna, for being on the program with us this morning. And again, she's on Facebook and out on social media, so you can check her out. And it's the pleasure, TT. All right, so all the best to you.
Thank you so very much for having me.
All right. Well, Julian.
Whoa. Ria, are you ready to leave it there this morning?
I'm ready to leave it there. I'm handing this over. LaDonna, here you go. Yeah, I'm handing it over. That's it.
Ria, I think it's been a very, very informative morning here, coming
Yes, it
from
has
the
been.
Tobago Updates morning show. And we continue to connect with our viewers. And I think it was important that you put that disclaimer out first so that parents knew, all right, this is the time where I send the child aside for this interview particularly.
Definitely.
As a mother yourself.
That's right. Get them off to bed. But it's also important that they know. But it's also important that they are educated. Because, I mean, sex was a taboo in my generation. And a lot of things that a lot of persons didn't know. And you learn. My mother was different. She taught us. She told us stuff. You know, my parents. So parents need to move beyond that in this day and age. But a great morning. We want to thank our viewers for joining us today. Julian, you were missed on set this morning, but we were happy to connect with you wherever you are.
Here.
We're seeing your background.
It's the Port of Spain area. It's the Port of Spain area.
That's right.
I just want to do some quick shout outs. We're seeing Donna Mae Walcott, Lyndon Lashley. Chantel Patterson says, if you want one, say you want one, Ria. You are not a senior. Of course, enjoying yourself there. Joan Phillips Pierre. We're seeing as well Suzette James Stewart, Teresa Kuki. And Ria, it's amazing. When this interview came on, the views just skyrocketed. So people really want to know. People really want to find out. Not that these names that I just called only came on for this interview. They were here all morning. Good morning, folks.
Julian, you're on your own. But I have the real deal, and I'm really happy with what I have. So thank you so much, Tobago, for joining us today. Have a great day. Stay safe, Julian. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye, Tobago. Wear your mask, sanitize, and socially distance. Do it with me, LaDonna. That's right.
I just want the microphone.